Hey everybody, thanks for joining. Today we're going to do going to draw a hall tree this drawing was submitted by Jeff Hemstedt, J-Hem Woodworking. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make this guy a little smaller, go into Sketchup. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get rid of our little model here. He'll appear in every version or every time you open SketchUp. So just go click your select. You see my arrow here. I'm going to go up to the upper left of the toolbar. Hit this arrow. That's the select arrow. I'm going to select my guy. If I click off of him, it's going to deselect. If I click him, and I'm going to hit the delete button, and he's going to go away. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at this guy, and it looks like this is 50 inches wide. Well, let's say 60. He says 50 to 60, so I'm going to go 60 inches wide, and I'm going to go 10. It looks like he's got 18 inches deep. Looks like this is kind of going in a little wall cavity. So let's make a rectangle 60 inches long, about 5 feet long, and 18 inches deep. So I'm going to start, I'm going to come down, and here's how I'm going to draw my triangle. I'm going to grab the line tool, the pencil over here, and I'm going to come down to the axis where the three, this is vertical, this is depth, and this is length. And I'm just going to click with the pencil right at the origin. The origin's going to grab it. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to let go of the click, and it's going to just let me go in any direction I wanted to go. I'm going to follow the red axis, and I'm going to come down here to where it says length, and I'm going to double click, and I'm going to type 60 inches. Hit the enter key. Whoops, that was wrong. I'm going to hit Command and Z, takes me back. That's an undo is Command Z. So go ahead and hit origin. And you want to make sure before you go down and hit the 60 inches. Matter of fact, you don't have to go down and highlight the length in the bottom right. You can just keep again, I'm going to go and let my red axis snap. And then I'm just going to type 60 inches. And if you look down at the bottom right, you'll see that 60 went ahead and clocked in. So let's hit return, and it's going to give me a line that's 60 inches. We said the hall tree was going to be 18 inches deep, so I'm going to go 18 inches along the green axis. So again, I've got my line tool, the pencil tool, come down to the axis, click it, go up the green, and I'm going to type 18 inches, and you'll see in the bottom right my 18 inches. I'm going to hit enter, and I go 18 inches, and then I'm going to follow the red axis back down from that point, and actually you'll see what will happen. It's going to click. You'll see a little you're going to see where the point that that my first 60 inches started at was going to correspond to this one that's 18 inches offset of it. So as soon as I see that little circle, those two circles, and it says from point, I'm going to click one time my mouse, my right mouse button if you're on a Windows machine. And then I'm going to come down and I'm going to fill, and I'm going to click where that second end point, and that's going to give me a complete rectangle. In SketchUp, you know you've completed a shape when it kind of fills in with this dark gray here. So let's go back to Jeff's drawing, and let's see. You can see here that it's going to be 12 inches high, the seat on this hall tree. So let's go back, and in order to make this 12 inches taller, I'm sorry, it's 18 inches taller. Yeah, I think that's a 18. That's a normal seat height, so I hope that's what he's got. So if you come down and take your cursor and put it over this button here on the toolbar, it says push pull. Click that one time, and it's going to give you the push pull icon. And before we do that, let's zoom in a little bit. If you just come up to the select key, and if you come down to the magnifying glass, click on where you want to zoom, and just keep your mouse clicked and kind of scroll up, and it's going to bring it a little more in focus. And to bring that to the center of our workspace, I'm going to grab the hand here, the pan tool, and kind of bring it right up to the middle. Go back to the push-pull tool, click right there, and you're going to click with your thumb. I'm using a trackpad on a Mac. So what I'm going to do is push it with my thumb and then take my forefinger while I'm still holding the mouse down with my thumb. Take my forefinger up, and then you'll see in the bottom right that distance on the blue axis is starting to count up. So I'm going to take my finger, and while I'm still holding the mouse down, 18 inches. And there we go. We've got an 18-inch tall box. Now, a real quick way to check my measurements and make sure that I've got 60 inches by 10 inches by 18 inches is to come on over to the left and click the tape measure tool. And I can go from this point, just like you were in the shop, to this point, and it's going to show me in my bottom right, it's going to show you the length of the 2 points you just pulled from. So that's 5 feet. And I'm going to measure from this point down to here. That's 1'6", 18 inches. And I'm going to go from this end point to back here. That's 18 inches. I said 10 inches a second ago, but I meant 18 inches. So all of my measurements are correct there. So I'm going to go back to the drawing and look at the rest of this haul tree, and it looks like he's got two kind of legs on it, but he's got an overall height of 80 inches. So we're going to go from 18 inches to 80. So we need to add another 60. Let me get rid of this message here. We're going to add another. We're going to go up to 80 inches. So to give this haul tree its height. So I'm going to zoom out and come down a little bit, and I'm going to grab the line tool. I'm going to come down to the bottom of my bench, and I know that from Jeff's drawing that this haul tree is 80 inches tall. So I'm going to click the end point here, and I can let go. You just have to click one time and let go, and it's looking for the machine is waiting for it to tell me, for me to tell it where I want the next point to go. So as I'm going up the blue axis, I'm going to type 80 inches and hit return. Okay, so now I'm going to come back along the red axis to go to the back of this tall tree. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit the escape button. And I'm sure that there's a gazillion ways to do all this stuff, but this is the way I'm going to do this. I'm going to, so the button I just clicked is up here. It's called the orbit tool. It's also over on the left in your toolbar. It's called orbit. It's kind of a green and red spinning looking thing. So I'm going to click that, and then while I've got my thumb holding the trackpad down, the button down, I can use my forefinger to rotate this shape. So while I went up the blue axis 80 inches on that side, I'm going to do the exact same thing over here. I'm going to go up. I'm going to type 80 inches. Okay. So now when I connect these 2 points, so I just hit the escape button, and that anytime you hit the escape button, that releases the holder that is looking for the next point. So if you made a mistake and started from the wrong origin point, you can just hit Command Z or hit escape. But I've got two lines going up at 80 inches. So you're going to see what I can do here. So I'm going to click here. Click there, and that's going to give me the back of the haul tree. So let's go over to Jeff's. So I can tell Jeff kind of has some mission style trim on it, very simple, kind of craftsman style trim. So that's going to be easy to find. So first thing we're going to do is create an opening here. If you look, Jeff has one large rectangular opening that looks like it's broken into 3 equal squares. So let's go start by giving him one big opening. And so how I'm going to do that, I'm going to kind of rotate this guy over where I'm looking straight at it. I'm going to zoom in because I'm going to be giving this area a lot of attention. I'm going to get in pretty tight to it. And then I'm going to go down, I'm going to grab what's called the offset tool. The offset tool kind of looks like an arc, a black arc with an arrow, and then kind of a red arc on the outside of it. So the offset is going to be kind of like we'll draw a line around the perimeter of any shape. So you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's click it, and then come inside of the shape that you want to define, that we're trying to opening, and just click it one time, and then move your mouse while it's unselected. Just click it and then move your pointer up and down, and you'll see as I'm moving, you see down here in my distance box, it's kind of letting me select what the offset is from this edge down to where the offset is. So typically when you're doing kind of a craftsman shaker style, something like this, if you can go for a really, really bold formal look with, a good 8 inches. You can go down to 6, but typically you're going to be 2 to 3 inches. So let's just kind of go 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to type 2.5 inches, and then I'm going to hit enter. And so I'm going to come back over here and hit my arrow, and there you have it.